my fifth and final update for 50 Shades of Black. This was created by Amanda, Jessica, and Cece of the PANtastic ladies, and initially you are supposed to bring in 50 products that you can relate to the color black, whether it's the color of the product, the color of packaging, writing on the packaging, I don't know, like any way you can put the color black to a product, you can bring it in. However, I started this project back in November, so I jumped in halfway throughout the year, so instead of 50 products, I brought in 25. Out of those 25, I still have 13 products remaining, so I'm first going to go over how I did this past month with those products, and then we'll kind of do like a recap of how the whole project went. So let's get into the update first. Starting off strong with an empty. This I knew was going to be empty for this project because I said I was going to retire it regardless of how things were going come the end of this project. And if I'm being honest, I probably should have retired it a little bit sooner. This is my Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara in the shade Black Brown, and I have reconstituted this so many times that I am pretty sure it's like 95% eye drops and 5% color at this time. So I brought this back in November, however, it was not brand new when I brought it into this project, so it is definitely pushing it and should be retired. So out of the past month, I was able to get 16 more uses out of it, which means I got 83 uses in total in this project, and you know what? I enjoyed all 83 of those uses. This is definitely a product that I would repurchase. Onto two products that I was really hoping to pan. The first one is my MAC lipstick in the shade Please Me. This, unfortunately, I only used 2 times this past month, so there really is no visible progress on it, and unfortunately, I'm not able to add a new line to the cap as well. On top of those 2 uses, that means I've used this product 22 times in this project, and I am nowhere near panning it, which was definitely one of my goals. However, it's still a goal this year, so it's possible it could happen. It just didn't happen in this project. The other MAC lipstick I was working on, I got a little bit more use this month. However, it's funny because the total came out pretty similar, and that is my Samantha Ravndal collaboration shade. I used this 8 times this past month, which means I have 23 total uses on this lipstick in this project. And similar to Please Me, even though it was 8 uses, I unfortunately was not able to add a new line to the cap. I said this recently in my Face Off Project Pan video that I don't know if I brought this product in because I wanted to use it up or if I just needed that regular reminder to clean my brushes. This is the Sephora Solid Brush Cleaner, and I can happily say that I use this consistently at least once a month throughout the whole entire project. I actually used it 2 times this past month for a total of 7 uses this project, and I think that's pretty dang good. However, it looks nothing different, and quite honestly, I don't really expect it to look different. It's a white soap in a black jar. There's not really much you can do until you really start hitting the plastic on the bottom, or if you forget to clean it and people think that there's mold growing on your product. So, you know what? I am happy with the fact that I've been consistent with cleaning my brushes, and I'm gonna call it a win. My Minimalist Vitamin C, E, and Ferulic was so close to being done last update, but unfortunately there was just a little bit left that I couldn't call it an empty. I did get 8 more uses out of this product for a total of 72 uses in this project. However, I did go through 3 different bottles of this, 2 of which were brought in not at full and then 1 that was brought in at full, so I'm not really sure how many uses you get out of a bottle, which I would really like to know. So I think what this has taught me is that anytime I bring in the same product, I think I'm going to create like a new line on my counting spreadsheet, because you know what, one might get a couple uses, one might get a couple uses more, one might have less, but I just really like to know, and that's really the only way I'd find out. It goes to the same for this product. This is my Mary & May I'd Have Been Known Blackberry Intense Cream. I used up 2 of these during this project, and I used it, where's my number, 53 times this past month for a total of 216 uses. But again, that's between 2 jars, so if we're kind of averaging it, that's about 108 uses each, but that might be a little bit off. However, I do believe both were relatively full. So I think that's still pretty dang good and a lot of uses out of just one product. I really enjoy this product. It's definitely going to come back for next winter as well as kind of like winter spring kind of turnover. I love this, and it's now one of my staples. My Redken Big Blowout Heat Protecting Blowout Jelly definitely did not get as much love as I was hoping it would in this project. I used it 4 more times this past month for a total of 11 uses. However, on the nice side, we were able to draw a new line on the packaging. So we are now about here, or at least I'm guessing we're about there, because the packaging is half-assingly see-through, but then the black kind of like gets in the way of it. So we're somewhere in this little area here, and that's my best guess. I do really enjoy this product aside from the smell. It smells so chemically and awful, but the product itself is great. A little bit of a sad update for this product. This is my Kenra Sugar Beach Sugar Beach Sun Cream. I do not enjoy this product when I'm at home. It works great when I'm somewhere humid and somewhere hot, but in the cold kind of dry area that I live, this just works absolutely horrible. So when I'm on vacation, it's just wonderful. It adds so much texture, so much life to my hair. And then when I came home from vacation, I was like, I cannot get any more out of this package. I'm going to cut it open. If I pull it up, we were about here. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to cut it open. I'm going to try and use it a couple of times while we're still at home, and then when we go on vacation, I'll see if I can use it up then. Unfortunately, after cutting it open, I did get one more use out of this, so we're at a total of 11 uses this project. It dried up and got super sticky that whenever I put it in my hair, there was flakes and chunks of white, which is 100% my fault. I shouldn't have cut it open. I should have left it for vacation and then just cut it open on vacation, but I didn't. So unfortunately, we were down to like this last little bit here, but I had to declutter the rest of the product. So overall, I used about 80% of this product, maybe 90%, but I am having to declutter the rest. A product that I am sad to see kind of go, this is my Amika Signature Room Fragrance. This is the last empty of this update. And this, I got another 14 uses for a total of 65 uses in this project. I brought this in kind of on a whim because I was like, oh, it's old, I want to use it up, get it out of my collection. And I actually learned to really enjoy this to the point that I actually kind of miss it. Unfortunately, last time I went looking for it, you can't really buy it in a room spray anymore. You can buy like a hair mist, but I'm like, I don't want to spray my cushions with a hair mist. So you know what? We had a good time together. I'm going to enjoy that, and I am going to miss it. I got another 5 uses on my Peely base coat for a total of 37 uses, but when I show you, it's not going to add up to the line because I did have a second open bottle of Peely base coat that just had a little bit left in it that I couldn't get to it, so I did add it to this bottle. So our lines are a little bit skewed, but that's kind of where we're sitting at with this product. So I find a little goes a long way with this one, that I think this is going to be around forever, which is a good thing because I have 2 more boxes of it behind me. My favorite holo taco out of all of them probably has to be Flaky Taco. This is really chunky holographic glitter, and we were able to put another line on this product here as well. It is getting very close to be done. I used this 2 more times this past month for a total of 35 uses. A little bit more refined is Scattered Taco. So this one is still chunky, but they're kind of more similar sizes and a lot smaller than the Flaky Taco. This one I also used 2 times for a total of 35 and was able to draw a new line, but it was pretty close to the last one that it almost looks messy. And the last product I have to update you on is Linear Taco. This one is so refined that it kind of just looks like a sheen on the nails. And I was able to get a new line on this one as well. We were pretty consistent with how we use this one. Like, those lines are like almost equally apart. I did use this one 2 more times for a total of 35 as well. As you can probably guess, I layered the 3 of them together. Now let's talk about how this project went as a whole. I am going to start with makeup products. I brought 5 products in when I started this project, and I am happy to say that I completed 2. The first was my NARS Hydrating Glow Tint Foundation. Absolutely hate this thing. Hope it rests in makeup hell. Like, goodbye. But I was able to finish that, and then this update we saw, I was able to finish the Essence Lash Princess Mascara as well. So I was able to complete 2 products out of the 5, which unfortunately meant that my MAC lipsticks are not finished, and my Sephora Solid Brush Cleaner is not finished, so unfortunately I didn't finish 3. On to skincare, I had to be difficult. Of course I did. I initially brought 5 products into this category, starting with a single bottle of my Minimalist Vitamin C serum, which I was able to complete. I also brought in a jar of the Mary & May Intense Cream, which I also completed. And then, to round out the 5 products that I brought in for skincare, I did bring in 3 sheet masks from Some By Me. These are their Retinol Intense Reactivating Masks. So I was able to complete the 5 initial products that I brought into the skincare category. However, I then had to go above and beyond and bring 2 more bottles of my Minimalist Vitamin C Serum into this, which I also completed. And then I brought another jar of my Mary & May Intense Cream as well into the project, which I also did complete as well. So technically finished the 5 out of 5 that I initially brought in, or I completed 8 out of the 5 that I brought in. Depends how you calculate it. As for body care, I brought 3 products into this category and was able to complete all 3 as well. I brought in the Medicube Red Acne Peeling Shot. I also brought in a jar of the Rose Argan Body Conditioner, and boy did this thing hang around. And I also brought in the large size of Lush's The Comforter Shower Gel as well. But I was able to complete all 3, so another category at 100%. And unfortunately, this is where things go downhill. In the hair care category, I brought in 2 products. One I was able to get some good progress on, which is my Redken Blowout Jelly, but unfortunately I did not finish it. And then the second product I brought in was the Kenra Sugar Beach Sun Cream, and we saw today that this is a declutter. So unfortunately, I am 0 for 2 for hair care. Back to the good side of things, in the fragrance category, I brought in 5 products as well. Starting with my Amika Signature Room Fragrance, I was able to finish this. I also had in a bunch of samples as well. First was Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, which I was also able to finish. I also brought in Tom Ford's Black Orchid, which I also finished. I brought in Kilian's Apple Brandy, which you can guess, I also finished that. And then the last sample I brought in was Angel Share by Kilian, and I can happily say I finished this one as well. So I am 5 for 5 in the fragrance category. And the last category I have for you is nail polish, and I brought 5 in as well. The first was the Peely Base Coat by Holo Taco, and I had to add more to this product, and so unfortunately we ended up with more than we had on the last line that we were able to draw. We were able to make progress on Flaky Taco, but it's still here. And the same goes for Scattered Taco as well. And the same also goes for Linear Taco. We made progress on all of them, but unfortunately they're still hanging around. And then the 5th product I had in the nail polish category was the Glossy Taco Top Coat. And unfortunately that one was so stringy and so gloopy and weird, and I didn't know I had thinner in my collection at first because I hadn't done my inventory yet, so I just went and decluttered that product. So unfortunately we got 0 for 5 and a declutter as well. So if you add everything up, I have 2 possible sets of numbers to look at it. Either I did 15 out of the 25 products that I set out to do, which is a 60% completion rate, which is not that bad. Or if you count the extra skincare products that I brought into the project, I did 18 out of 28 products, and I was able to get a 64 completion rate. I'm gonna say regardless of how you looked at it, I moved products out of my collection. I used up 18 products in the past 6 months in this project, and I'm gonna count it as a success. That is 18 products used, loved, and gone. Well, 17 products used, loved, and gone. One just absolutely I still shudder when I think of that foundation. It was just horrible. I just really want to move on with my life, but it still finds its way into updates and I still have to talk about it. Anyways, this project was a success and I am really happy that I did it. 15 Shades of Next Color starts tomorrow, and I'm going to have a intro for you then. You'll be able to figure out what color it is, and I am actually doing all 50 products this time because I am starting it at the beginning. But you're gonna have to wait for any sort of information, no spoiler alerts in this video. So I hope that you will catch me in that one, and until the next time I see you, I hope the day treats you well. Bye!